Hey there guys, CrossFlux here with the long-awaited second entry to my How Would They Smash series. Well, I suppose that's a bit presumptuous of me. Was this long-awaited? Well, for those who haven't seen my first video on The Knight from Hollow Knight, this is a series where we take a look at how video game characters would function if they got their invitations to join the Smash Brothers roster. Initially, this video was going to be on the Bear and Bird, but they're already in Smash, so yeah. And yes, this is how long the script to this video has been sitting on my computer. I've only just now gotten around to recording this. Anyways, instead of Banjo and Kazooie, today we're going to shift gears and actually focus on their spiritual successors. Let's go over some clarifications. I'm not a professional brawler. I'm what you'd call a filthy casual when it comes to Smash Brothers. I enjoyed the series for sure, and I've played every entry, but I'm not an expert on what would be balanced or anything like that. With that being said, my analysis of Yooka and Laylee here will be primarily fueled on being as faithful as possible to how they are portrayed in their own game, as well as what would be fun to play in Smash. Now, without further ado, I'm quite aware of the bad reputation that Yooka and Laylee have in the gaming community. It's a little bit better now that Impossible Layers come out, but my thoughts on their original game may be discussed in the future, as I intend to let's play it and review it. For now, let's just go over who these two characters are and what they could bring to the table if they were translated into Smash Brothers. Yooka the Chameleon and Laylee the Bat are best friends, just minding their own business when the evil tycoon, capital B, powers up a machine that sucks up books all across the world. His goal is to rewrite the world in his image. Yooka and Laylee don't really care about that per se, but they do want their book back so they can sell it for money. Our heroes, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, they progress through capital B's headquarters, the Ivory Towers, collecting magical pages along the way. They finally reach the top of the tower and thrash the corporate insect, setting things right. Neither a chameleon nor a bat are particularly heavy, but together, I would argue there's a bit of heftiness there. All in all, I'd put Yooka and Laylee smack dab in the middle of the weight categories. Not heavy, but not a lightweight either. Hailing from a 3D platforming game, Yooka and Laylee are fairly acrobatic. Therefore, they'd be decently quick on their feet. I place them just slightly above average in the walking department. I'm very surprised by just how well Banjo and Kazooie transition into their dash animation. Before they were released, I figured the Talon Trot would be jarring and look a little awkward. At least Yooka and Laylee's dashing mechanic would be even more seamless. For their dash, they'll utilize the roll technique. I could see it nicely transitioning from Yooka walking forward to curling up into a ball, and even going back to a regular walk after the dash ends. Not only that, but even going out of a dash into various other moves like a dash attack, a grab, or an up smash would still look good and smooth. Not only that, but they'd be fairly speedy in the air as well. I put them above average in the airspeed category. The pair will have above average fall speed since they have quick, snappy jumps in their own game. They'll have a way to modify their fall speed, and I'll explain that in the next section. These two would have the traditional 2 jumps that most characters in Smash possess. The second jump won't be nearly as high as the first, but gravity would affect the duo less afterwards. Think of it in a similar manner as Yoshi's flutter jump. Thus, based on jumps alone, the duo won't have as much vertical recovery, but they would instead be better in the horizontal department. For the pair's basic attacks, they will have a simple 3-hit combo, a punch, kick, and tail whip. Tails are useful appendages. I'm sure Yooka would agree. For the duo's side tilt, Yooka will briefly wind up, lashing out with his tail. This will deal more damage and have a bit more range than the previously mentioned tail swipe of the 3-hit combo. For their up tilt, Yooka will short hop, headbutting Laylee into the foes directly above them. Due to the low knockback, this would be a great move to juggle enemies at a lower percentage. Yooka spins around, attempting to trip up his foe by sweeping their legs out from under them with his tail. The duo's dash attack will be the very first move they learn from Trouser, the tail twirl. Yooka spins around, hitting enemies on both sides of him with his tail, maintaining his momentum in the process. Thanks to this momentum, the foes hit by the attack from the front will suffer more damage and knockback than those hit by the backside. If the pair is knocked down, have no fear. As they stand back up, Yooka can perform a breakdance-like move when he spins around, whipping nearby foes with his tail. Laylee will help fly him back into the air, kind of like when he lands from a tall fall in their game. Depending on how crafty your foe is, returning back to the stage can be a tricky effort. Grabbing onto the edge feels great thanks to the brief moment of invincibility. Once you're there though, you need to make a decision as to how to progress. Do you simply roll forward, do you jump, or do you attack? Well, if you choose to attack, Yooka will lash out with his tongue and then somersault forward, back onto the stage, ready for combat once again. Yooka and Laylee have harmonizing personalities. Yooka is the straightforward, helpful type, while Laylee is the more sarcastic and selfish one. As a result, Laylee is known for having a big mouth. Luckily, this mouth is useful for much more than just insulting people. Calling upon her innate bat-like qualities, Laylee is able to shape sound into a weapon. Her side smash will become her sonar shot technique, in which she shoots out a cone of sound waves. The longer this smash is charged, the further the sound waves will travel. Another neat touch to this move is that it can reflect incoming projectiles, kind of like how Ness's side smash does as well. Since the duo hail from a 3D platformer, you know they have to be good at jumping. Since I have something else in mind for their up special, I've decided to make Yooka's and Laylee's up smash be their lizard leap technique. Yooka shapes his tail into a spring and the duo are launched into the air a great deal. The force of this leap can cause decent damage to those unfortunate enough to find themselves in the duo's path. What makes this smash attack unique is that it also serves as a jump. The duo will be in the air after the attack, meaning it's great for comboing straight into your excellent aerial attacks. The longer the smash is charged, the higher this jump becomes. At max charge, it'll be the height of 2 regular jumps. As mentioned previously, Laylee is known for being a smart aleck with a big mouth. An even more powerful form of sonic energy can be utilized, the Sonic Explosion. After inhaling a breath of air and readying herself, Laylee channels her echolocation abilities into one powerful explosion of sound. What's neat is that since this attack is in the form of sound waves, the hitbox will extend through drop-down platforms, like the ones found on Battlefield. Those hit in this area, beneath the duo, will suffer less damage and significantly less knockback. One more thing to note is that the longer this smash is charged, the larger the radius of the sound sphere is formed. Okay, so this may be a bit clunky, but I wasn't really sure how else to implement the following ability in a way that fits with the Smash Bros. Control scheme. Yooka's neutral special is a combination of Slurp State and Slurp Shot. So, you know how Shulk's neutral special will allow him to swap between his various Monado arts by holding B and pointing to the desired state with the analog stick? Well, Yooka will be able to swap between his different Slurp states in a similar manner. The differences between Yooka and Shulk is that Yooka has 8 different states to choose from, each one associated with one of the main directions of the analog stick. Once you enter a Slurp state, you can't enter another state until the current one ends. Each state will last about 10 seconds. While in Slurp state, Yooka's neutral special will change into another move unique to that state. So here are the 8 different Slurp states and their associated move. Ice, utilizing Frostberry. While in the ice state, Yooka's neutral special is a Slurp Shot. He shoots out a shard of ice that deals decent damage and can flinch the opponent, very much like Falco's blaster. Fire from the Scorchberry. While in the fire state, Yooka is able to emit a fire breath, like Bowser or Charizard. Water from a Splashberry. While in the water state, Yooka can emit a stream of water that functions like Squirtle's water gun or Mario's flood. Bomb with a bomb berry. While in the bomb state, Yooka can fire another kind of slurp shot. The projectile he emits is slow moving and doesn't travel very far. If it collides with an enemy, it deals heavy damage and significant knockback. Think a little bit faster than the cannon from the halberd stage. While in the metal state, the duo is significantly heavier, but they are slower and fall much quicker. Yooka is a chameleon, which means he has a long sticky tongue. For his neutral B, he can use his tongue in the form of Lizard Lash. He'll whip the foes a good distance in front of him, dealing decent damage and knockback. While in the luminous state, the duo is an easier target, since they emit light. This means they'll take slightly more damage than usual. The trade-off is that their own attacks will deal more damage. Yooka's neutral special becomes a modified Lizard Lash. While in the sticky state, the duo is harder to knock back only if they're grounded, since they would stick to the ground. The trade-off is that their attacks will deal slightly less damage, and once again, Yooka's neutral special becomes a modified Lizard Lash. While in the charged state, Yooka's move speed increases slightly, maybe about 20%. He's also able to use a shocking Lizard Lash attack that makes me think of Zero Suit Samus's side B. As a result, it can briefly stun a foe. Many Smash Bros. Characters have a form of horizontal recovery / momentum building attack as their side special. To mirror this technique, Yooka and Laylee will make use of their Reptile Rush move. Yooka will curl into a ball and Laylee will build up momentum by rolling the chameleon in place. After charging, the duo will travel quickly in the chosen direction, stopping after colliding with the first obstacle hit and dealing damage in the process. The longer you hold B, the further you will travel, and the more damage will be inflicted. A Smash Bros. Character's up special is almost always reserved for a vertical recovery move, and Yooka and Laylee are no different. In their game, the best technique they have for traversing the mini environments is one of the last moves taught to them by Trowser, Flappy Flight. After a brief moment, Laylee uses her strength to fly while Yooka holds on desperately. This would function like Olimar's up special, in that it doesn't actually deal damage, but the character doesn't immediately enter helpless mode. In fact, Yooka and Laylee can still use aerial attacks at any point throughout the Flappy Flight's duration. If they choose to do so, it will cancel the Flappy Flight early though. If you thought that Laylee could only sculpt sound waves into offensive techniques, let me surprise you with the duo's down special, the Sonar Shield. After activating this move, a translucent shield will surround the duo. While this shield is present, the duo won't suffer any damage and they'll benefit from super armor. This is quite a powerful effect, so let's discuss the various stipulations. 1. This move will last for only 3 seconds once activated, so be sure to make the most of it. 2. This move needs to be charged up in order to be used. Just like how Wario needs to withhold his down special so that his farts can build up into something really deadly, so too will Yooka and Laylee need to wait to allow this move to build up. You'll know it's ready to be used when the character model flashes faintly. There will also be an auditory cue. Laylee's voice will sound slightly echoey whenever she makes sound effects. For perspective, this move will take about 20 seconds in between uses to charge back up. And 3. To prevent abuse, if the Sonar Shield is active when the duo obtains their final smash, the shield will end early. Likewise, if the shield isn't active, but it is ready to be used, it can't be activated while the duo has their smash aura. Yooka and Laylee often use the roll technique to traverse the environment, but there's no reason why they couldn't use it in the air, right? So, for the duos in air, Laylee will balance on top of Yooka as he curls into the ball. This multi-hit attack can accumulate a decent amount of damage if all the hits land. Yooka performs a front flip, slamming his foe with his tail. The very edge of his tail is a sweet spot that functions as a meteor spike. We've already covered the duo's tail twirl attack, but surely there's more than one way of utilizing it. A modified version could be used as the duo's bear. Yooka spins around quickly, hitting the foe behind him with a whipping tail. For the duo's up air, Laylee will leap off her friend's head and tackle the enemy that's just above her. This attack would be great for juggling at lower percentages, but can turn into a decent kill option at higher levels. Yooka and Laylee are not only great at gaining height, they're also able to return to the ground in a similarly fast manner. By utilizing their buddy slam technique, the duo are able to plummet back to the ground with great force. This will function like Sonic's Dare, in that the duo will continue traveling until they collide with the ground, or plummet to their doom. Of course, they'll deal damage to anyone they pass through along the way. Not only is Yooka able to use his tongue to pick up objects from a distance, but he can even use it like a grappling hook. When translating the duo into Smash, this screams tether grab to me. I don't think Yooka's tether grab should be as long as Samus's grapple beam, but it'll be close. Just like with all tether grabs, not only will Yooka be able to restrict his foes from a distance, but he'll also be able to grab onto ledges as an alternate form of recovery. It can also be used as an alternate aerial attack to gimp foes from a medium distance away. While Yooka holds his foe steady, Laylee will headbutt the target. Yooka performs a backflip, kicking his opponent in the process, sending them flying. Yooka spins around, tossing his foe with his tongue. Yooka tosses the foe into the air and the duo headbutts them. The knockback isn't that far, so it should be easy to combo into an aerial attack after this. Yooka slams the foe into the ground while simultaneously hopping into the air. The duo crash down, utilizing their buddy slam maneuver once again. Now, I had a hard time coming up with the ways that Yooka and Laylee could perform a final smash. At first, I couldn't think of any special move that they knew that could be translated into a finisher of that caliber. But suddenly it hit me. Yooka and Laylee often have different movesets even within their own game, but only once they've been transformed by their acquaintance Dr. Puzz. Their most powerful transformation has to be the spaceship from Galleon Galaxy. So how would this work? Well, when the duo uses their final smash, Yooka uses his tongue to pull in enemies a little ways away from him. Dr. Puzz's DN Ray will then appear, triggering the transformation. A short cutscene would then play. Any characters caught by Yooka's tongue from earlier will find themselves stuck in a cosmic-looking water of Galleon Galaxy. Yooka and Laylee will then swim around the unfortunate players, firing off a variety of weapons, cycling between their fire beam, ice missiles, and bomb rockets. All the while, the duo will swim faster and faster. After dealing about 30 damage or so of weapons, they'll rear back and charge straight into those stuck in the water, ending the cutscene and applying a significant knockback. There are two other moves in Yooka and Laylee's arsenal that haven't yet been accommodated for here in Smash Bros. I didn't think they worked well when mapped to the other buttons. They're defensive in nature, so I think it makes more sense to apply these moves as an aesthetic to the shield and sidestep mechanics. The Buddy Bubble normally allows the duo to walk underwater and removes their need to hold their breath. Since there's this sphere around them, I thought it would be a great touch to have this be the bubble that appears around the duo while they're guarding. As for sidestepping, during the animation, the duo temporarily becomes invisible. Yooka is a chameleon after all, meaning that he can make use of his camo cloak ability. This would be a neat little touch that would give the duo an edge when they're being forced to play defensively. Although they'd only be invisible for the split second that it takes to perform the sidestep, that brief moment could be all a player needs to recollect themselves and get back to playing offensively. Most of the duo's taunts and victory animations stem from their idle animations from their game. The two perform generic taunts as Yooka motions for the enemy to come closer. Laylee flies around Yooka's head, making him dizzy, and Laylee laughs at him. A butterfly appears, and after eyeing it for a second, Yooka slurps it up. This will recover 1% damage. The duo float into battle as Laylee just finishes up her Flappy Flight. Yooka winds up his arm as he prepares for battle. Yooka spins Laylee around and then head bumps her. Being mid-weight fighters, Yooka and Laylee have a mix of damage and mobility. They rely on racking up damage as quickly as possible, positioning themselves correctly, and applying that one final attack to knock their opponents out. Between the ranged grab and the various slurp shot abilities, the duo have a few ways to pressure their foes at mid to long range. Once the foe gets too close, the duo can go to town with powerful smashes. As far as defense goes, the sonar shield and the reflect associated with the side smash give the pair a nice combination of protection. Great mobility options and recovery give the duo a bit of staying power. Finally, to go with their platforming background, the duo will have a great air game. A lot of their moves provide just the right amount of knockback to get your opponent into the air, but keep them close enough to follow up easily. Be sure to juggle your foe to get them to the point of no return before delivering the final blow. Yooka and Laylee features a variety of areas to explore. Each one is unique as the last. For the stage that would be included in Smash Bros., I considered the starting area of Yooka Laylee, Shipwreck Creek, but I don't know. You don't really spend that much time there, and it's arguably not as iconic as, say, Spiral Mountain from Banjo-Kazooie. I also thought about the main hub of the game, Ivory Towers. Again, that just didn't feel right to me. So I asked myself about what environment I think of first when I think of Yooka Laylee. The answer came to me immediately: the first world, Tribal Stack Tropics. This world is teeming with vibrant colors and life, and really gives off a Donkey Kong Country vibe. I think it would make for a great stage to fight in. The various platforms could be made up of ruins and ramps. There could even be a single platform in the air, one of those that either ascends or descends as you stand on it. Honestly, I find many of the characters in Yooka Laylee to be on the bland or unmemorable side. That being said, I can't think of too many characters who would be interesting enough to serve as an assist trophy. The closest I can think of would be the cannon friend Blasto. In the source material, Blasto needs to have a cannonball dislodged from him in order to earn a Pagey. This scenario could be replicated in Smash Brothers. When summoned, he'll just sit around looking depressed. It's then up to the player who summoned him to beat him up a little bit. Once he's taken enough damage, his cannonball will be dislodged and it'll fire in a straight line. Any other characters hit by this will suffer great damage and knockback. So, what did you all think about my version of Yooka Laylee for Smash Brothers? I'm sure it could use some tweaking, but overall, I'm happy with how they turned out. I certainly wouldn't mind if they made it into Smash through DLC. Personally, I'd prefer a few other characters more than them, but again, I wouldn't be upset if they did somehow make it in. But what about all of you? How likely do you think it would be for Yooka Laylee to get their invite to Smash Brothers? What other characters would you like to see? Please leave your comments down below. Until next time, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I pray that you have a wonderful day.